Good evening everybody. Today we will discuss about the refraction on curved surfaces. We are having two types of curved surfaces. Those are convex and concave. We already know about what is refraction. What is refraction? When a light ray travels from one medium to another medium, at interface it bends. Why it bends? Due to the change in its velocity, it bends. For suppose the light ray travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal. When light ray travels from denser medium to rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. For curved surfaces, how it forms, let us see. See, this is the principal axis and this is a curved surface. We are taking light rays from here, means we take the convex surface. When light rays all parallel to enter into the convex surface, after refraction they all converge at a particular point, that is focus. But here if you observe, this is the center of curvature. Center of curvature means the curved surface which is part of the sphere. Curved surface is a part of a sphere. That center of that sphere is called the center of curvature. At any point from the curved surface to the center of curvature acts as a normal. If you take any point, this is normal. If you take this point, this is also normal. What does it mean? From center of curvature to at any point on the curved surface, if you draw a line, that line shows normal to that particular surface. So here these all are the normals. Principal axis also acts like a normal. Why? Because this is also a point, the straight line formed due to the point on the curved surface and center of curvature. For suppose light ray passes through the center of curvature, what happens? There is no deviation. Why? Because the line which is passes through the center of curvature acts like a normal. When light ray passes through the normal, there is no deviation. So when light ray passes through the center of curvature, there is no deviation. As well as in the same way, when the light ray passes through the principal axis, when light ray passes through the principal axis, also there is no deviation. Why? Because this is also acts like a normal. So there is no deviation in the light ray. Diffraction cannot take place in these two situations. Let us see. Take a convex surface. Light ray travels from rarer medium to denser medium. When light ray travels rarer medium to denser medium, after refraction it bends towards the normal. Here normal is here. From the sea, light ray passes through a convex surface. After refraction it bends towards normal. Why? Because it is travelling from rarer medium to denser medium. Let us say, for suppose it is denser medium and it is rarer medium. A light ray passes through the denser medium to rarer medium through a convex surface. After refraction it bends away from the normal. See, after refraction, this is the normal. It bends away from the normal. When light ray passes through the denser medium to rarer medium, after refraction it passes through away from the normal. These are convex surfaces. Then what about concave surfaces? Let us see here. This is a concave surface. This is rarer medium and this is denser medium. When a light ray passes through from a concave surface, denser medium to rarer medium. We already know that when light ray passes through from denser medium to rarer medium, it passes away from the normal. This is the normal. So away from the normal, it touches the principal axis. After refraction, it touches the principal axis. In the same way, when a light ray passes through a concave surface from rarer medium to denser medium, from rarer medium to denser medium, it passes through the normal. See, it passes through the normal and incident ray and refracted ray lies either side of each other. They do not get at the same side. We cannot get them at same side. These are the light rays which passes through from curved surfaces from rarer medium to denser medium and denser medium to rarer medium. Here is a formula for the refraction formula for the curved surfaces. that is n2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to n2 minus n1 by r. Here v means the image distance, u means the object distance, and r be the radius of curvature. That means the distance between the center of curvature to the optic center. This is called optic center. Means the midpoint of the curved surface. The midpoint of the curved surface is called optic center. The distance between the optic center and center of curvature gives you the radius of curvature, that is denoted by r. Here n2 means the refractive index of the second medium and n1 means the refractive index of the first medium. This is about the curved surfaces. Then how it changes the formula for a plane surfaces. We can get formula from curved surfaces to plane surfaces. For plane surfaces, the radius of curvature becomes infinity. That means n2 minus n1 by r becomes infinity. Therefore, n2 minus n1 by r becomes 0. n2 by v minus n1 by u is equal to 0. So, n2 by v is equal to n1 by u. So, for the plane surfaces, refraction formula for plane surfaces is n2 by v is equal to n1 by u. That means refractive index of the second medium by image distance is equal to refractive index of the first medium by object distance. When a light ray passes through from lens, whether it is either convex or concave, depending upon that, refraction takes place. When the light ray parallelly incident on a convex lens, after refraction, it passes through the focal point. The parallel beam of light which is incident on a lens, after refraction, they passes through the particular point, all and converge at a particular point, that is called focus. Let us see about what is lens. We are having different types of lenses. Here if you observe, this is biconvex lens. That means it has two convex surfaces. It is biconcave lenses. It has two concave surfaces. And plano-convex lenses. See, if you observe, this is also one side plane surface and another side convex surface. One side plane surfaces and another side convex surfaces. So it is called plano-convex surfaces. In the same way, this is a plane surface and one side is concave surface. This is a plane surface and another side is concave surface. So this is called plano-concave lenses. If you observe these two diagrams carefully, this is concave surface and this is convex surface. This is concave surface and this is convex surface. This type of lens are called concave or convex lens. Lens is made up of the intersection part of two spheres. When we combine two spheres, we will get this type of lenses. Let us see. See, this is one sphere, transparent sphere. This is one transparent sphere. The center of curvature of that sphere is here C1. Why? Because this is the first curved surface. The intersection part of two spheres, you will get a biconvex lens. Here, this is the first surface. So, the center of curvature of this first surface is called here C1, that is denoted by 2f1. Because the distance between the pole and the center of curvature gives you the radius of curvature. Okay, then focal length is half of the radius of curvature. Therefore, radius of curvature is equal to double of focal length. Here f1 be the distance. Here is also f1. f1 plus f1 2f1. So, center of curvature we will denote it with 2f1. For first curved surface, this is 2f1 and focal point f1. For the second curved surface, this is center of curvature of the second sphere, that is 2f2 or c2, and f2 be the focal point of that second curved surface. The intersection part of that sphere gives you the biconvex lens. It has two convex surfaces. It is also one convex surface and this is another convex surface. When a parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex surface, after refraction, all those light rays are converged at a particular point. That point is called focal point. Parallel beam of light, after refraction, incident on a particular point, coincide at a particular point. That point is called focal point. The distance between the pole and that focal point gives you the focal length. the distance between the pole and center of curvature, otherwise level of the focal point gives you the radius of curvature. 2f1 is the center of curvature point and the distance between P and 2f1 gives you the radius of curvature. Parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex lens after refraction, they are converged at a particular point, that is called focal point. This is focal point. In the same way, the parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex lens, but the thickness of these lenses are, this is biconvex lens and this is biconcave lens. The thickness is very less. That's why we will consider only one curved surface. Actually, it has two curved surfaces. In these two surfaces also refraction takes place. But the thickness is, we consider that the thickness is very less. Negligible for counting. That's why we can take as only one curved surface. In the same manner, for biconcave lens also, the parallel beam of light incident on that one, after refraction they diverge. The light rays diverge. If you extend that divergent beam of light, they all, it seems to be they are coming from a particular point, from a source of light, that is called focal point of that concave surface. Focal point of that concave surface. For biconvex lens, these parallel beam of light are in one side, you can get focal point on the other side. But you will get, when parallel beam of light incident on that one, you will get focal point on the same side for concave surfaces. See, when the thickness is very less, we consider it as a straight line. Parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex lens. Why we will show this biconvex lens as here? If you observe carefully, biconvex lens we will see. When you extend and touch these both two end points, then you will get a convex lens. This is a convex lens. This is one convex surface and this is another convex surface. This is a biconvex lens. That you will denote with like this. Why? Because if you extend and attach endpoints, you will get the convex lens. After refraction, when parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex lens, after refraction, they all converge at a particular point. That point is called focal point. The distance between pole and focal point gives you the focal length. The distance between pole and center of curvature, 2f1, gives you the radius of curvature. R is equal to 2f, or f is equal to r by 2. In the same way, biconcave lens, the parallel beam of light incident on biconcave lens, they all diverge in different directions. If you extend those, they all converge, seems to be coming from a point, that is called focal point of that concave lens. Okay. Now, what is, in which condition the light ray will not refraction takes place? Let us see here. This is a biconvex lens. A light ray which is passing through the pole or optic center. The light ray which is passes through the optic center, there is no deviation. That means refraction will not take place for either biconvex lens or biconcave lens. Refraction will not take place when the light ray passes through the optic center. Sometimes we will call it as pole. Pole and optic center are equal. This is a biconcave lens. First, suppose if we keep a source of light at focal point in front of a biconvex lens, what happens? The source of light which is incident on biconvex lens, after refraction, these lights passes through parallel to the principal axis. When we keep a source of light at the focal point of biconvex lens, after refraction, the light rays incident on biconvex lens, and after refraction, these lights are passing through parallel to the principal axis. See, in the same manner in concave lens also, if you get the focal point after refraction, these passes through parallel to the principal axis. For suppose the parallel beam of light which is not parallel to the principal axis incident on a biconvex lens, after refraction they all converge at a particular point, but that point does not lie on the principal axis, that lie on the focal plane. This is called focal plane. The normal draw from the focal point is called focal plane. The normal, here this means that perpendicular. The normal which is drawn from the focal point is called focal plane. The parallel beam of light which is not parallel to the principal axis incident on a biconvex lens after refraction. They all converge at a particular point that lies on the focal plane. In the same way, in concave also, if you kept the parallel lights are which is not parallel to the principal axis diverge after refraction, they all diverge. If you extend all those, they all seems to be coming from a particular point. That point lies on the focal plane. That point lies on the focal plane. Let us see about the image characteristics formed by a biconvex lens. We know that when parallel beam of light incident on a biconvex lens, after refraction all converge at a particular point, that is called focus. When there is an object in a long distance, we can consider the light rays which are coming from that object are parallel to the principal axis. The object which is kept at infinite distance means in a long distance, the parallel beam of light means the light rays which are coming from the object after refraction coincide at a particular point, that is called focal point. There we will get the point object. That is also inverted, real, we can get on screen, but point object means very small image we will get at the focal point. When you kept object beyond 2f2 means the center of curvature of the second curved surface. When you kept object beyond 2f2, you will get image in between f1 and 2f1. Object beyond 2f2, then image you will get at f1 and 2f1. What are the characteristics of that image? Let us see. The image will be formed in between f1 and 2f1. This is inverted real image we can get on screen. Diminished image, the object size is more than the image size, so we will get the diminished image. When we kept object on 2f1, when you kept object on 2f1, you will get image also at 2f1. Object at 2f2, image you will get at 2f1. What does it mean? You will get the same size of the image, inverted image, real image on 2f1. Real, inverted on 2f1. Size is equal in size. How much object size it has, you will get the same size of the image on 2f1. When we kept object in between 2f2 and f2, in between 2f2 and f2, if we kept object, see the parallel light passes through the focal. From the optic center there is no deviation. They both converge at a particular point. There you will get the image. That image is beyond 2f1. If you observe carefully, the object size is less and image size is more. So enlarged image. The image characteristics are enlarged image, inverted image, real image beyond 2f1. The position of the image is 2f1. When we kept object in between 2f2 and f2, you will get image beyond 2f1, inverted, enlarged and real image. When we kept object on f2, that is the focal point of one surface, one curved surface, after refraction you will get parallel beam of light. They will not coincide at any place. So we can consider that the image will be formed at infinite distance. When the refracted rays are parallel, you will get the image at infinite distance. We cannot distinguish the characteristics of that particular image. Next one, object kept in between f2 and p means optic center. In between f2 and optic center, you will get the image at the same side of the object. Where you kept object, in the same side you will get the image, that is diminished, erect and virtual image. So convex lens gives you both virtual and real images also. In one position only we will get the virtual image, that is when we kept object in between F2 and optic center, you will get a diminished image. Erect, diminished, image. Object size is more than, image size is more than object size, so you will get magnified image. See, you get divergent beam of light, the parallel light passes through the focal point, the light ray from the optic center goes straight, there is no deviation. If you extend these divergent light rays, what happens, they both converge at a particular point, there you will get the image. So that is erect image, virtual image, magnified image. So image characteristics when we kept object in between optic center and F2 is magnified, erect and virtual image. We can see directly this image, but we cannot get on screen. We cannot get this image on screen. Next, image characteristics of a biconcave lens. If you use biconcave lens, wherever you kept, either beyond 2f1 or on 2f1 or in between f1 and 2f1 or in f1 you will not get any image, in between wherever the position you take, you can get image only at one position, that is in between P and F1, means from the optic center and focal point. You can get image in these points, in between these points only. See, this is the object, this is the image. What are the image characteristics? Diminished, erect, virtual. That means always biconcave lens gives you virtual image only. We can get only virtual image by diminished virtual image by biconcave lens. In convex lens you will get virtual image, but it is enlarged, means magnified image. See, lens formula 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. F is the focal length, v be the image distance and u be the object distance. Lens maker's formula 1 by f is equal to n minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. F means focal length, n means the refractive index of the substance with which substance we are making the lens, r1 be the radius of curvature of the first curved surface, and r2 be the radius of curvature of the second curved surface. Thank you.